and vote for Democrats.
No, they can't vote.
Right.
Those Social Security cards literally say
AOC,
on the card, say you can't use this for voting.
Sam Seder joined Patrick Bet David's podcast again for the first time in 2 years. And I had to bring this clip to you because it really shows how conservative media personalities like Patrick Bet David and these MAGA-style talk shows usually function. What you're about to see is Sam Seder calmly bringing up factual points grounded in reality and the reaction from Patrick and his co-hosts. It's not logic, it's feelings, opinions, a vibe. It's what they believe, not what's actually happening. So I want to break this down with you clip by clip. I've got some things to say about it too. Let's watch this together.
I watched the video of you guys on the plane down of when Elon Musk was in Wisconsin blowing up his whole brand, essentially. And he was on stage with a guy named Garcias. You guys remember this video?
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
It was like 2 days ago.
Yes. The Social Security numbers spiking in the last 4 years.
The Social Security numbers.
2.2 million new non-citizen Social Security numbers. Yes.
And the amount of misinformation from every single person, all of you, was astonishing to me.
What was it? What was the misinformation?
I mean, well, I almost feel like we should go through the whole video.
This is coming from a socialist.
No, no,
you know
no.
the level of credibility you have as a socialist.
Yes,
a system that has never worked. But I want to hear it.
That is anti-oligarchy.
But I want to hear it. I want to hear it. I want to hear it. Go for it.
First off, you seem to not understand that these were not undocumented immigrants who were getting these Social Security numbers. They are non-citizens. Now, when you came to this country, you were an immigrant. Your parents came legally.
Right.
Every single one of those people who got those Social Security numbers are here legally. They're not citizens, just like you weren't when you first came to this country.
Yeah.
You get a green card. Your parents get a green card. They go through a process.
Yeah.
All of those people, and to understand, they got their Social Security card.
I really want to see your point.
Well, the point is, you referred to them as undocumented and illegal. You did.
I said non-citizen.
No, excuse me.
Don't say everyone here. I said non-citizen. Correct yourself.
I can't remember which one of you got it wrong. I think you did.
Just be specific.
You're thinking, but
we can play the video and go through it. But
I'm still trying to get to the point.
I just want to make. Well, the point is, they're not illegal. They're not undocumented. They're all legal.
Right.
The expansion from that program, the EBE program, which is enumeration beyond entry, was started under the Trump administration. The numbers have gone up because, yes, under Biden, as opposed to Trump, there was an expansion of people who were here probably, I'm not sure.
A lot of illegals.
Excuse me.
10 plus million.
Not a single one of them.
Breaking number of people.
Hold on, you're changing the subject now.
No, I'm not changing the subject.
I'm talking about that video.
Yeah.
And every one of those Social Security numbers that was handed out.
So how do you feel about the illegal immigrants that came those 4 years?
I will get to illegal.
You don't care about those people.
I will get to the undocumented.
You cared about children.
But you don't want to talk about this, and I don't blame you because it's embarrassing.
No. But let me do a quick time out.
Every one of those Social Security numbers.
Do a quick time out here. Sam, let me just do a quick time out. You said you don't want to talk about this. You just spun away from a question I asked you, and you brought this up. You haven't even addressed the question I asked you.
Wait a minute. We'll get to the
point that I asked. Let's go back to what I asked you. I asked you a question that the money that's going in, Americans prove that they don't trust the government getting the money than free market, free enterprise.
I don't think that's the case. You never
addressed that.
I don't think that's the case. People love Social Security. People love Medicare.
Expenditure. What we learned with Doge. The American people said, Sam, enough of you taking our tax money and see what you're doing with it.
Elon Musk made that Wisconsin election of a referendum on Doge. To the extent that we've seen anybody vote on Doge, nobody heard the word Doge before November of last year. To the extent that we've seen a referendum on Doge, it just happened in Wisconsin. It happened in Florida, where the size of the win by those Republican congressmen was cut by 17, 20 points. I mean, this is a wipeout. And every Republican, you're going to see a difference in Republican lawmakers over the next year and a half, because anybody who was in a plus Trump 8 district or less is now starting to go like, wait a second. That's why Musk is being shown the door, supposedly. So getting back to my point about those Social Security numbers, They were.
Before Sam even finishes what he's trying to say, I want to stop here and point something out. Just like I mentioned at the start of this video, what exactly are Patrick, Bet David, and Vinny Oshana doing? This is misdirection, distraction. It's all, well, what about immigration? What about this or that? Meanwhile, Sam Seder is pointing out exactly where Elon Musk was wrong, whether it was a lie or just misinformation, and how Patrick and his crew were repeating that same false narrative. But they're not trying to hear that. They instantly pivot the conversation away, trying to shift it toward illegal immigration, which isn't what Sam's even talking about. These are individuals who have social security numbers. They're not undocumented. They're not receiving benefits. They're legal non-citizens. Just like Sam said, even Patrick might have once been in that exact situation, but none of that matters here. What really matters to them is selling a story that fits their agenda, and the facts are an afterthought. Well, let's look at some numbers here. This comes from foxnews.com. According to a Reuters/Ipsos poll conducted March 31st to April 2nd, Musk's favorable rating stands at 39% among Americans, with 57% viewing him in an unfavorable light, and only 36% of respondents said the Trump administration was doing a competent job in reducing the number of federal employees. Even fewer, 31%, offered that the Trump administration was competently downsizing the federal government without affecting vital services. So only 31% think that they're doing a good job in downsizing without screwing up things for the rest of us. And this is coming from Fox News. So again, not some liberal source, that's Fox, which makes their whole spin here even more hollow.
Were given all to legal non-citizens. And every one of those cards, you can't vote, because I think you definitely said, and I think maybe you said, that this is a Democratic strategy to get voters. Hold on for a second. The Social Security card that they get literally says not legitimate for voting purposes. It is so that these non-citizens who are legal, just like when you came in, pay into the Social Security system and get, many of them never get that money back. So in addition to the undocumented immigrants who pay in $22 billion a year into Social Security and get zero back, these people pay several $billion in a year, and only if they become citizens, which most of them won't. Most of them will go back home over a period of time. They're here for temporary protected status. Maybe some of them are refugees and they get permanent citizenship. They won't get that money either. So every single thing of that video, this video here, was completely wrong that you guys did. It was fascinating to me because I feel like you, at the very least, I believe that you care about the information you're putting out. And this is where I have to part ways with Sam a little bit. I don't think these guys actually care about whether the information they're putting out is true, honest, or based in reality. What they do is share stuff that aligns with what they already believe, or what they want their audience to believe. If they genuinely cared about being factual, this would be front and center in their conversation. Like, all right, Sam, let's actually go through the policies. Maybe you're onto something, maybe not. Let's dig in. But no, instead it's just, you're naive, Sam. Patrick repeats it. Naive. This isn't about reality for them. It's about pushing their version of the world. Facts be damned. Wrong. And
so they're up there. So Sam, this is all a lie. These guys were up there just completely bullshitting with all the numbers. Where he's saying that people in the government are blowing the whistles. He didn't want to say their names. He was giving them praise. And for Sam, for you to say that you care about the kids and the labor and all that stuff. We've had an open border for 4 years, and all the illegals, way more than 10 million, have come into this country. California, is that where you live?
No.
Where do you live?
I live in New York.
Okay, great, even better. California. So the amount of money that we spent on illegals with housing and all that shit, and Gavin Newsom passing a law that you don't even need an ID to vote. You're saying that we're coming up with where these people aren't coming in for the votes? That's the main goal of this whole thing. What was the open border for? Why was the border open for 4 years? Answer me that question.
First of all, the border was not open.
Give me are you kidding me? Look at the. What do you mean the border wasn't open? Hold on. Did you smoke before you came in here? That's ridiculous.
By the way, Vinny, here's the part, though.
You're full of it, bro.
Here's the part.
Get out of here.
Sam, here's the part when I hear this, okay?
Anybody can look at that video. The things you were saying yesterday was a complete sack of lies or just misinformation.
Be honest with me.
Immigration year over year over year.
Sam,
type in illegal immigration year over year.
The fact that you're saying the border wasn't wide open. How many deaths have happened? How many fentanyl deaths have happened per year while your freaking president Joe Biden was in office? How many Americans died just from fentanyl, and you're saying the border wasn't wide open? We've had the most illegal entry in 4 years in the history of the country.
Dude.
This is why. Let me finish. And this is why your party sucks. This is why your party is at 29% approval. 20%. Because you got 20. Thank you. Because all you guys do is talk shit and just go anti-Trump. You have no policies. You guys have no vision. You have no leaders. You're talking about oligarchs and you hate the oligarchs. Where do you think Bernie Sanders and AOC are going to get their money from? Their donors. Don't lie to yourself. For you to look and by the way, you're talking about yesterday we lied.
AOC and Bernie Sanders don't take
Hold on, ready for this?
So here's the thing with Patrick Bet David, Vinny Oshana, Adam Sosnick, and honestly, whoever the fourth guy is, they're totally unaffected by actual facts. These are the same guys who constantly yell, facts don't care about your feelings. Yet, they operate entirely on emotion. Sam Seder breaks it all down. How the Social Security program functions, how Musk twisted the truth, how these millions of people are legal non-citizens, and how that fact is being spun into fear-mongering. Then Elon and his crew pull their stunt, mess with the system, and when people don't get their benefits, they can just say, oh, it's because we're cleaning up the fraud. That way the public gets angry at the system, not the people breaking it. Sam sticks to the facts, calmly lays it out. But what do Patrick and Vinny do? Talk over him, drown him out, pivot to totally unrelated rants, because that's how these shows work. Facts get buried under noise and emotion. That's Patrick's entire game plan. That's Vinny's go-to move anytime he shows up somewhere like Piers Morgan's show. Red-faced, yelling, ready to explode. That's the brand. And in the end, truth doesn't matter in these spaces. It's all about outrage. I want to know what you think. Are you with Sam on this one? Or do you think Patrick and the guys actually made sense here?